Hello everyone, it's me, Rob Biddulph. I am a children's author and illustrator. Do you want to see a picture of me when I was a little boy? I don't know why I'm showing you this, it's a bit embarrassing. Oh look, I thought it'd be a good idea to put a picture of me as a little boy in this particular book because it's about a class full of school children. Haven't they got a perfectly round head? Anyway, you might know me from books like this one. It's called Wide Awake. It's part of my Dinosaur Juniors series, or maybe you've even seen this one about pirate penguins called Sunk. There we go, I like this cover. Can you see the way I've made the words sort of start underwater and then come out? Aren't I clever? Right, but today I thought I would draw a picture from this book, Show and Tell, the one that has the picture of me as a little boy in it. And there is one particular thing that, you can see what happens in this book basically. All these kids, they bring in sort of more and more like crazy things. This guy's got a really good pirate ship hat. Darcy here, she's got a pair of gold violins, and everything that each child brings in is even more ridiculous than the previous one. So look, Eddie here, some Venus flytraps. Mo has got a laser sword. Can you see that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Oliver's spacesuit here. That spacesuit, and you probably can't see it, but it says Armstrong on it. I wonder if it's actually Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. But by the time we get to here, look, it's getting quite crazy. We've got Quinn, who's brought in the speediest racing car in existence. But what we're going to be drawing now is this alligator that Rebecca has brought in, her pet alligator. Alligators are a lot of fun to draw, so I thought that's what we'd have a go at doing. Let's put our piece of paper here. Let's make sure I get it in the middle. What do you think? Yeah, that'll do, won't it? Right, so grab yourself a piece of paper and your pen or your pencil, whatever it is that you want to draw with. And let's start, shall we now? You've done these before with me, but I will just explain what we're going to do. You're going to copy exactly what I draw, okay? And we're going to do these drawings a little tiny bit at a time. Okay, so even if you think you can't draw, I'm going to prove to you that you can draw. It's just a question of knowing the order to do the drawing in, okay? So stick with me and we're going to be just fine. Okay, so what I want you to do, now our alligator, we're going to do our alligator all the way across our piece of paper. So we need to start right over here on the left-hand side. Okay, so what I want you to do first of all is a very simple semicircle, like that. Nice and small over on the left-hand side of your page. Very easy. Then at the bottom right-hand side of your semicircle, I just want you to draw a little tiny line, very small line, like that. And then I want you to draw another one of those semicircles, exactly the same, like that. Okay, next, I want you to draw a very straight line, as straight as you can, all the way over. Let's go, how far should we go? Let's go to about here, I think, like that. So we've done semicircle, line, semicircle, long line. Guess what we're going to do next? What do you think? That's right, a semicircle. Exactly the same as the others. One. Do you know what? We're going to do the same again. We're going to do a little line. There. Oh, it's quite hard to know what we're drawing at this stage. If you were asked to ask me to guess what we were drawing, I'd never guess it was going to be an alligator, but wait and see. It's going to take shape before your very eyes. Okay, next thing, guess what? We're going to do another straight line. Really long, probably the same length again, if not a little tiny bit longer, but we're going to stop about there, I think. That should probably be roughly right. Now, here's where it gets exciting, because we're going to do a U-turn. We're going to turn around quite quickly, like that. And we're going to draw another straight line. And this time, it's going to go slightly upwards, just going to go slightly uphill. Can you see what I mean? We'll probably stop about there, I think. So it's going slightly, not flat, it's going slightly like that. Okay, now I want you to turn around again. We're going to make this quite a sharp point here, like that. And we're going to go back. And again, we're going to go slightly, it's probably in a straight line actually, but what we want is we want this shape that we're drawing to start off very thin there and just get gradually sort of fatter and fatter as we come away. Like that sort of thing. And we're going to go to, let's go to that curve there. We're going to go up to there, like that, okay? Right. The next thing that we need to do is we're going to do another curve. We're going to turn around here and we're going to come back along here. But what I want you to do, we need to make this area a bit fatter than it was before. We don't want it to be too thin, okay? So we're going to go along a bit further. Do you see what I mean? And we're going to come down a bit further than before, like that, okay? So you can see, it's like, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is the crocodile. Not crocodile, alligators. Crocodiles get so cross when you call them alligators and vice versa, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. This alligator's tail is very narrow here, but it gets fatter and fatter and fatter, and then we're going to turn around into the alligator's body. Okay, so then once we're around here, I want you to carry on. Oh, I went a bit wobbly there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm trying to do it as straight as I can. It's not doing a very good job of a straight line. And I want you to come all the way up here past the point where we started, and then just past that I want you to curve up and stop before we get up to level with that point. So we're going to stop while we're still below there, okay? Okay, now then, yet another straight line. There's lots of straight lines in this drawing. This time we're going to come back along here underneath that other straight line that we did in the two sets of semicircles. We're going to go past both sets of semicircles, a little way past them actually, probably about there. And then we're just going to turn up a little bit, but stop before we get to the top. And you can probably see that we've drawn our alligator's mouth like that. Okay, now what I want you to do next is where this very first shape that we did is here, I want you to carry that down, straight down, and join up there with the bottom of his mouth, because you see his jaw is just sort of sticking out a little bit. Now then, it's time to add our alligator's teeth in, isn't it? So let's do that. Do you know what? I'm going to switch to a thinner pen for this, just for me. So I'm grabbing just a slightly thinner pen. That one's, I'm not happy with that one. That's better. This one's better. Okay, so what I want you to do is simple triangle shape like that, coming up out of that area there. And that is going to be the first of our alligator's teeth. Now, I want you to add lots more teeth along here like this. Now you can have as many or as few as you like. I'm going to do quite a lot. And you know what's quite fun to do? Sometimes you can do one going down like that, because I think alligators' teeth just do that sometimes. They go down, up, up. Do one down. Let's do another one down, up, and we're going to keep going right until we get to the end. And look, whoa, what a set of gnashers. Okay, now then, should we give our alligator some eyes? This is the place where our alligator's eyes live. So what we do, in the middle of that upside down U shape, we're just going to draw a nice neat circle like that. And we're going to do another one in there. Now then, our alligator's going to have a sort of a bit of a lazy look in his eyes, because they spend a lot of time, don't they, just sort of lying around in the water, sort of basking in the sun. So this guy's a very chilled out alligator. So what we're going to do, straight across the middle of that circle, we're just going to draw a line like that. And the same on the other one, like that. And that at the moment looks like he's asleep. We don't want him to be asleep. So what we're going to do is just add a tiny little pupil underneath that line. We do it off to the side of it, so it looks like our alligator's looking this way a bit. So he's just looking quite sleepy and sort of lazy as he lies in the sun. Oh, I like this one. This is good, this one, isn't it? Okay, now this is our alligator's nose, so we're going to do some little nostrils. Do you remember how I do nostrils? I start with a little black circle like that, and then I do a little swirly shape like that. I'm going to do the same on this one as well. There we go. Our alligator has some nostrils. Now then, I'm going to go back to my original pen here, because I want to give our alligator some legs. The first leg we're going to do here, and it's going to be like this. So just past where the mouth is, or quite a long way past, so halfway between where the mouth is and where the curve of the tail is, but down the bottom, we're going to draw a little curvy line like that, just coming off the bottom of his body. And then a little way to the right of that, we're going to do one exactly the same shape, like that. And this is going to be one of our alligator's legs. And then we're going to give him some little pointy toes. So we're going to do a line that comes out there, and then it goes back into a little point, like that. And we're going to do a little mini triangle, like that. We're going to do another sort of triangle that's a bit stretched out like that. And then this side we're going to do almost opposite to what we did in the first place. And that's our alligator's foot that's spread out as he's standing on the ground. And the other one we're going to do, which would be on the other side of his body, but we're going to do it so you can just see it coming down here behind his mouth. We're going to do another little curve. Again, we're going to do exactly the same thing with his feet, just like that. And we're going to go back up there. And there are our alligator's feet. Then we're going to do another one over, I think we'll do it over here, shall we? Right down here, we're just going to do another thing, exactly the same. Two curvy lines, little pointy toes, 1, 2, 3, like that. And I think the other one would be sort of behind there, so we're not going to draw that because it's sort of hidden behind his body. Okay, we are nearly there now with our alligator. The only other thing to do, they've sort of got these lumps and bumps all along their back and around and along their tail. Now, this is the good thing about doing these kind of cartoony drawings. We can do this quite rough and quite kind of quickly. So what I want you to do is just to add just some little kind of upside down U shapes, a bit like that very first one we did. We're going to do a few sort of along here, like that. We're going to follow the curve of his back around, like that. And then we can, I think it's quite nice, we sort of overlap these lines a little bit here when we did the feet, and I think we can just do the same here and make it a bit of a sketchy sort of alligator. And we're going to do them like that, and then I think when you get to about here, we can just start adding them almost on top of the tail, like that. We're going to go right to the end of our tail with our sort of lumpy texture, just like that. And then maybe you can add a few more bits and pieces here and there, wherever you think you need to add them, but they're always the same sort of thing. In fact, it's quite nice when you do a couple of layers of them, like that, I think. I'm going to add even a couple going over this line here, like that, make it a lovely sketchy kind of alligator. And look, really nice, really starting to take shape. Now, I'm going to add a little tiny bit more texture just on the underside of our alligator, okay? So, do you remember when we drew a dinosaur? I think it was Gregosaurus we did this on. We added some little dots and circles, just a few little dots and circles, just on the underside of his tummy, just like that. A few little dots and circles, a few little bits and pieces, and all that does, it just suggests that the skin has got a sort of rough, sort of reptilian texture. I think alligators are reptiles, aren't they? Somebody will probably write in and tell me I've got that wrong. I don't think so. I think they are reptiles. I think they're the closest living thing to dinosaurs, aren't they? Alligators. I think they, whenever I see them on David Attenborough programs, things like that, I always think, wow, they look prehistoric, these guys. They look like they've been around for a long time. I think they have. So there we go. I'm just adding some dots and circles, bits and pieces. Let's add a couple on his legs, like that. There you go. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's pretty cool. Now then, my favourite thing to do, we're going to add a little bit of shadow just around the feet, just a little bit to make it look like the feet are on a surface. We don't need to do too much, I don't think, with this one. Just some little bits and pieces here and there. And now, I think it's time to colour in our alligator. I'm going to have a go at using some watercolours here. Now, I don't have a green watercolour, so I'm going to do something quite clever here. I'm going to use my yellow and my blue, because when yellow and blue mix together, you get green. So I'm going to do this super speedily, but you should still be able to see how this works. I hope it does work. If it doesn't work, then you probably will never see this video because I'll have to start again, but I think it's going to work. So here we go, super speedy colouring in. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. A finished drawing of an alligator. Did you notice that I've coloured in the background yellow? It's because I smudged. Look, got smudginess all over my hand. Can you see that? And I smudged all around here, so I thought, oh dear, I know I'll paint in the whole background yellow to hide it, but it didn't work, did it? But you know what? I say this quite often, don't I? I always think those little mistakes sometimes are the nicest bits of a drawing, because it really does make it look like somebody's made it by hand. If it's too perfect, then it looks like it's just been done on a computer or something, and sometimes it's nice to know that you've done something by hand. Anyway, I wonder how your alligators have turned out. I can't wait to see them. Maybe you've done yours in different colours to mine, something like that. It doesn't really matter. But if you would take a picture of your drawing, that would be fabulous. I'd love to see them. If you just tag them with the hashtag #drawwithrob and maybe include my social media tags on Twitter. I think on Twitter I'm at Rob Biddulph, and on Instagram I'm at @rbiddulph. And if you're looking at this on Facebook, if you add your picture in the comments below the post, that's the most likely place that I'm going to see it, because I get thousands and thousands of pictures, you see, and I really want to see everybody's. So why don't you do that? I've forgotten to sign my picture, haven't I? I can't believe I nearly did that. I'm going to sign mine down here. Here we go, I'm going to write my full name this time. I don't usually do that, do I? But there we go. Full name, Rob Biddulph. There, a little kiss underneath. So there we go. That's how you draw an alligator. I hope you've had fun during this lesson today. And listen, I'm going to be back very soon for another Draw with Rob episode. Until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.